An Albuquerque fighter was injured after UFC star Conor McGregor threw a dolly through a bus window.
You know, there's a fighter named Artem who is Conor McGregor's best friend. Khabib and his guys cornered him over some political stuff, and Khabib slapped him. Conor McGregor found out that he slapped him. He jumped on a private plane loaded with a bunch of his friends, flew to New York. Conor and his guys tried to attack the bus.
Just send me a message, let me know where, and that's it.
You say send location, here it is, right here in front of you.
Well, the question is, can Conor catch him while he's coming in?
Yeah.
And if Conor can catch him, look, Conor can knock anybody out.
Yeah.
Just slapped him!
I wanna fight with your chicken, because this is #1 easy fight in lightweight division.
It's time! I've always wanted to say that. For the Conor McGregor, Khabib Nurmagomedov True Geordie prediction. A lot of these MMA guys, they give you both sides, sit on the fence, don't say who they think's going to win. I'm saying it! Now, I know a lot of you who've seen me reaction to the press conference thing. I'm a Conor fanboy, riding the Conor dick. I've seen a few comments in. I just found the guy funny. Do you know what I mean? You can't laugh at someone in a fucking press conference acting like a crazy bastard drinking whiskey without getting shit for it these days. Anyway, now I'm gonna make me prediction. Some of you lot think you already know. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut the fuck up and listen. Alright, these two guys, they're like polar opposites. Conor McGregor is brash, cocky, arrogant, Irish. Got his own whiskey. Khabib is, what's a posh word for boring cunt, Lawrence? Sorry, people who think I'm riding Conor's dick are, now they're really ready. They're typing already. But he's just sort of stoic. Is that a good word? He's like a manly man, wrestled bears as a kid. He doesn't seem like the life and soul of the pot. He keeps himself to himself. I kind of like that about him, to be honest with you. He's not trying to be a superstar. He seems to want to make a legacy. You know, he's not taking pictures of his Rolexes and putting them all over Instagram. They're so different, these guys. Do you know what I'm saying? The build up to this fight has been possibly the best in fight history. The arrest of Conor McGregor, because Khabib slapped his training partner Artem Lobov around, which made Conor want to get on a plane and smash the bus up that Khabib was on and probably fight him in the middle of the street. That is drama, and that makes fucking people buy fights. This is going to be fucking huge. The last time McGregor was this aggressive pre-fight was probably Jose Aldo, and it worked on Aldo. I mean, Aldo was similar to Khabib. He was cool, calm, had a record of being undefeated a long time before that, and he wasn't used to someone being screaming in his face and not intimidated by him at all. If anything, acting like he was the alpha male. He was the dominant force. Aldo was so wound up by the time he got in that cage. He wanted to fight the fire that McGregor brought pre-fight with fire in fight. The problem is, by the time he got in the cage, McGregor had water. He was ice calm. It was all an act. It was all there to wind Aldo up and get him to play right into his hands. And potentially, we could say the same thing happened this time. However, despite me finding McGregor's insults to Khabib funny in the press conference, I do think Khabib handled it pretty well. He's from that Russian fighter mold, like Fedor, like ice cool. And despite him arguing a bit with McGregor, I don't think he was anywhere near as wound up as Aldo was by that press conference. And he's going to need to keep his nerve. A lot of people are breaking this down to be a wrestler beats a striker. Oh, well then, that's it, innit? Do you know what I mean? Why even do the fight? Khabib, go back to Russia, go wrestle some bears. Conor, go drink your whiskey in Ireland. There's no point. Do you know what I mean? They've sorted it on the internet. YouTubers have done it. Now, in my opinion, a wrestler does beat a striker unless the striker is competent enough to keep the fight standing long enough to hurt the wrestler. And in order for us to work out whether that can happen, we need to look at the skills of these guys. With Khabib, wrestling is obviously his bread and butter, is what he does. He can manipulate people's bodies in such a way that he just lands the takedown when he really needs to. I remember that first takedown on Michael Johnson, like, how did you manage that? But he does just enough to get them where he needs them to be. And when he gets you down, he keeps you down. His top game is one of the best in MMA ever. Khabib is strong, like the kind of strong that when you watch him in a UFC fight and you think, fuck, that guy is strong. But when they get in there with him, you see a look of, what the fuck? Like shock at how strong he is, and that must do something to you mentally in there. When you'd prepared for this level of strength, and then he's 3 levels above that, it doesn't just hurt you physically, it hurts your feelings how strong this guy is. You fucked up when you took this fight. That kind of strong. Khabib doesn't just end your night quickly. He doesn't just shut the lights off like a knockout artist like Conor does. He grinds you down, and if anything, some people probably would rather just get knocked out in the first round, you know, that way you can just be like, right, that's over. Like, I mean, he humiliates you. He talks to the owner of the UFC while beating the fuck out of you. He's not even concentrating on you 100%, and he's still on top of you, owning the shit out of you. With Conor McGregor, it's timing and accuracy on the feet. You go in there with him thinking, I can stand with this guy. I mean, I'm good. I've beaten people before. I'm on his level. I've seen what he does. And then he just catches you time and time again. And you're getting lit the fuck up from angles you didn't even know it was possible to get hit from. Khabib makes you look like a child. Conor makes you look like you're of a child's level of ability. Do you know what I mean? He makes you look like you're a white belt, whereas this guy's a samurai. With McGregor seems to take pride and joy in taking the piss out of you as he punches you in the fucking chin. Like, he laughs, he thinks it's hilarious, whereas while Khabib's talking to the boss about his new contract, I don't think he's even thinking, this is humiliating this guy. Emotionally, he's just not even there. He doesn't give a fuck. When he fought Alvarez, it was just a man against a boy, and Alvarez is not a boy, but he is on such a level mentally. He doesn't get affected by first ever UFC in New York, 2 titles on the line. He treats it like he's just going out there to have a little scrap in a park somewhere. Like, McGregor fights as if it's fun. Another thing McGregor does is he lulls fighters into a false sense of security. He's working out your patterns, he's memorizing what you do and how you react, and then he walks you on to his left hand. He's not making himself that vulnerable to land the left hand. Occasionally he might take a shot, but a lot of the time he just guides you on to his strength, and he can do that to pretty much anyone in that division. When it comes to weaknesses, it's like their personalities. They're polar opposite. Their weaknesses are the opposites. Their weaknesses are each other's strengths, which is why this fight is so hard to call, because these guys could both beat each other. It just depends on who can cover those weaknesses better to assert their strengths. In terms of Khabib, like, he's at an automatic disadvantage because the fight starts standing up, which is McGregor's game. And in that game, Khabib is basic. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. Basic. His head movement is almost non-existent. His footwork, he's there to be hit, and he's not quick. And he's been hit a lot of times by a lot of fighters who are nowhere near as good as Conor McGregor is at hitting people. And also his game plan is to take the fight down. You know what he wants to do. There's no element of surprise with Khabib at all coming here. It's not like George St. Pierre, who sets up takedowns with, stand-up, which Khabib tries to do, but he can't really afford to do that with Conor. We know the fucking game plan coming in. Equally, we know Conor's game plan, but the problem is the fight starts where he wants it to be. Conor's weaknesses are stamina, which Khabib is shown to have fucking bags of. Conor isn't a wrestler. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't come from a wrestling background, which Khabib is awesome at. And we can look at previous fights to try and see how this is going to play out. A lot of people, when they're trying to analyse this fight, quote the Barboza fight, because Barboza's a great striker, but he's a very different striker to McGregor. He's a big kicker, and I don't think Conor's going to utilise kicks a lot in this fight, because he knows that's an easy takedown for a wrestler like Khabib. I think the Michael Johnson fight is an interesting one to look at, because before Khabib did land that great takedown, Johnson was lighting Khabib up, and Johnson's nowhere near the level of McGregor, but he landed a left hand. He was a little bit too hard to close the distance on for him. There's a good little blueprint for McGregor here. The problem is, Khabib did take him down, he did overcome that struggle, and he did win the fight quite convincingly. McGregor, on the other hand, struggled with Chad Mendes, a high-level wrestler, a one who isn't as big and as strong as Khabib, and Chad Mendes took him down at will. Now, it was on 12 days' notice, and Conor did have a very bad knee injury and didn't have time to prepare for a wrestler like he's going to have time to prepare for this time, and Conor did overcome that. When Khabib won the title against Al Iaquinta, he looked comfortable, he looked good, but there were windows where he struggled to get the takedown. That's fine against Al Iaquinta. He's a good fighter, but he's not on the level of McGregor. If you struggle to get a takedown like that against McGregor, this is over fucking fast. When McGregor fought Nate Diaz, there was a lot of pressure. He had McGregor, after that early 2 rounds, on the back foot, struggling, gasping for breath, tired. If you do that against Khabib, this is over fucking fast. In terms of how I think this fight is going to go, if I had to give a prediction, it could go either way. As everyone is saying, each of these guys' strengths or each other's weaknesses. Khabib could maul McGregor. I am not saying any different, but there is a gap at the beginning of every round where Conor McGregor has the fight where he wants it. Guaranteed. And in that time frame, McGregor can land. Other people have landed on Khabib. And I think when McGregor lands, Khabib is going to get a shock. He doesn't slip punches the way Nate Diaz does. There's not a guarantee that he's going to be able to take those punches, and I'm willing to bet with the way he sits there and takes them and walks through them as he tries to, he's not going to be able to walk through Conor's shots. And I think Conor's going to catch him. I think Conor McGregor's going to win this fight. Other factors are there. Ring rust is a real thing. McGregor could lose this fight. I'm not saying he's guaranteed to win this. But the bottom line for me is, the weakness in Khabib's game is the one Conor can exploit before Khabib can exploit the weakness in Conor's game. And that's why I'm giving him this win. I've got no problem with who anyone wants to win. I'm not one of these people that gets butthurt because someone picked against me fucking favourite fighter. You do you, but let us know in the comments what you think's gonna happen, because I'm gonna be reading all of these and I want to know. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the True Geordie. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.